Welcome, family and friends. We are so glad you decided to join us for today's project. It's a seahorse and a fish. There are several steps involved from tracing the pattern to wood burning, carving, and painting, so let's get started. This time, I start by sealing the inside of the gourd with resin. After I carve the gourd, it will have holes, and I will not be able to rotate it to spread the resin on the inside. I add pitch black ink dye to the resin because I wanted the inside of the gourd to look like a cave. Now I pour the resin on the inside, rotate the gourd rotisserie style, covering as much as the inside as possible, and let it cure overnight. The next day I attach carving paper and the template to the outside of the gourd with clear tape. I'm using an embossing stylus to trace the lines of the seahorse onto the gourd. I use the embossing stylus because it has rounded ends and it makes it easy to trace the lines without tearing up the paper. After all the lines have been traced, I partially remove the top part to verify I did in fact get all the lines. If I missed any, I replace the paper and go over the missed lines. Partially removing the pattern allows me to put the paper back in place so the lines will match. I repeat the same process for the fish. I decided to position the fish on the opposite side of the seahorse. This will be a nice surprise when people are looking at the gourd and naturally turn it around and see a bright, colorful fish. Now it's time to wood burn the seahorse and the fish onto the gourd. I'm using my razor tip SK dual port burner with a HD1L blade. I will go over more details about the wood burner and the blades in a later video. When I'm wood burning and when I'm carving, I wear my 3M respirator and protective eyewear. You want to take your time when you're wood burning and keep in mind the tip can give you third-degree burns, so be very careful when you're using this tool. And you just saw what the seahorse looked like after it had been burned onto the gourd. Now I start burning the fish using the very same technique. Always take your time and keep in mind the tip of the wood burner gets very hot and can cause severe burns. And you just saw what the fish looked like after it was burned onto the gourd. So now I'm going to go outside and get ready to carve. I'm using my Gourd Master 2 Pro Carver with a 1/8 inch shank zip cutter, my 3M respirator, the gourd, and a paintbrush to dust off the debris. I start by carving around the body portion of the seahorse, leaving the top of the head and the bottom of the tail attached. I'm carving a large irregular hole on each side of the seahorse body so you can see into the gourd, giving it a cave effect. After carving the two large holes on either side of the seahorse, I carve a few filigree shapes, which are small irregular holes. Then I add small regular holes, giving the effect of bubbles in the water. Carving is a long, slow process, but for me it's enjoyable because this is the only thing I'm thinking about when I'm carving. And this is what it looks like after all the carving is finished. Now we get to move on to the painting. A seahorse really doesn't have color, but I wanted to give the underwater shimmer, so I used my Deco Art Dura-Clear Satin Varnish and Iridescent Mica Powder. This was just the look I wanted, natural with a touch of shimmer. For the fish, I used metallic paints in orange and blue. I wanted that beautiful shine the saltwater fish seem to have, and it's, to me, very eye-catching and captivating to watch them. I added gold for the fins, and I used seafoam green and emerald green for the seagrass, and here is the finished fish. We hope you enjoyed following along with this project. Be sure to join us next week for a totally different experience. I'm going to start a project and then the three of us are going to come together and finish it. Be sure to check out our silly shorts we're posting on Saturdays as well. So until next time, make it a gorgeous day every day. Bye.